We were writing songs in Jesse's basement faster than we could press them up. Because before we could collect the money from the stores on the song that we had out, so that we could take that money to the pressing plant to press the new record, we had a new record. So I went to the pressing plant and I made a deal with this guy, Larry Sherman. He owned the pressing plant. And I said, how about this? We're going to start a label. And we're going to give you the records, you're going to press them, and we're going to split the money. That's the deal. Because we're pressing everything that we can press on our label, and we can't just come to you with the money. Yeah. So that being the case, what we want to do is we want to enter a relationship where we're partnered. So you press the records, we make the records, and that's our partnership. Larry agreed. And the first record we made was a record called Wanna Dance by Linois. And I guess that was TX 001, or TX actually 101, because the first record was, they all started in the 100 series. Right. We wanted to feel like it was an established label, so we started at 101. People do that with their checkbook, I heard, you know. That being what it is, we started with TRAX TX 101, and Wanna Dance was the first record. And then we had a different arrangement for a record that we did called Dum Dum. So we didn't put that on TRAX technically. It was on another label called Precision. And we could tell which financial arrangement we had with Larry Sherman by whether or not the record was on TRAX or Precision. That was the basis of TRAX Records. I really enjoyed my time recording at a studio called Chicago TRAX. So I named the label TRAX, kind of because, you know, I thought that was a cool name. I thought the TRAX was great for what we were making. And I was starting to get into more new wave records and industrial records, so I thought that, you know, the bold block type, all caps, was cool. And I didn't want it to be straight in the center like every other label. I kind of liked it asymmetrical. So I took the TRAX logo, which was basically TRAX in bold black type, bold type, right, and slanted it a little bit. And then I said, you know what? Just so we're really different, I don't want our label to be white with type on it. I want it to be black with white type. So everything's in reverse. So, you know, that was our design, that was our intention. TRAX were for tracks, not for real songs. And we were off to the races with Linois. Now, Marshall Jefferson and I met at the Music Box. Okay. And he said that he wanted to make a record. And Marshall was a postman. You know, he worked at the post office. Man, he could get it, but he could get out there and jack. Man, Marshall was spiritual with it. So I was like, yo, that's my boy. He wants to make a record, we're going to make a record. So we went to a guy's house who had an 8-track studio, and I took my 808 drum machine and a DX7, and we made this record called Go Wild Rhythm Tracks. That's what Marshall wanted to call them, the Go Wild Rhythm Tracks. I really didn't, I was like, okay, cool. And Marshall wanted to call his label Other Side, the Other Side Records. So, you know, he wrote the label with a Sharpie, well, a magic marker at the time. And, you know, that's how we printed that on a blue label with silver ink, you know, to be different. His handwritten label, Virgo Tracks, the Go Wild Rhythm Tracks, produced by Vince Lawrence. And there's a track on there that they play to this day. And that was Marshall's first record. I produced it at this guy's basement studio. It was a lot of fun. A few weeks later, Marshall came back. He says, man, we got this song. It's making them go crazy at the Music Box. Vince, you got to put it on TRAX. You got to put it on TRAX. You got to put it on TRAX. You got to hear it. We got to go to the studio and record this record. And my first experience as, you know, an assistant engineer was in the recording sessions for Move Your Body. We bought the record to TRAX Records, and since it said you got to have house music all night long, and it was all about house music and all about that party specifically that party at the Music Box. And Larry said, well, you know, every style of music has to have an anthem, a rock anthem, an R&B anthem. This is going to be the house music anthem. And he put that underneath the title. And we're like, okay, well, whatever, Larry. It stuck. You know, that's how Marshall came to the label. And when Marshall came to the label, shortly thereafterwards, our other friend from the music box, Adonis, he did a record, No Way Back. And then after that, we took Marshall took the other guys out. Basically, all of us hung out in the music box. Sleazy D, he had a good personality, and he could, you know, he was getting attention when he was dancing on the floor. We made a record for Sleazy D. You know, he was like really super freaky with the girls and stuff, you know, but he was kind of known, like, yo, that's Sleazy D. You know, the stuff he might do to you when you're dancing, you know, it's kind of sleazy. And he made this record, I've Lost Control. And then, you know, the only guy that was left was Hercules. And Hercules, they called him Hercules because he was so damn big. And Hercules made a record, 7 Ways to Make You Jack.